All right. Shabbat Shalom, Mishpachah. Shabbat Shalom. Shalom Alachayim, Shmi, More Yezaziyahu, Bain Yasharala. Baruch haba Ivryt Keta Yesod. Hakodesh Safe Yahweh Vashelo Avot. Peace be upon you all. My name is More Yezaziyahu. I have been appointed by the Most High Yah through Elder Zakein Prince Yasharal and the nation of Israel. I come to you today as a humble servant and a brother and co-laborer of the faith, welcoming you all to the third lesson of our Ivryt lesson. We are learning the foundation and the fundamentals of our class. Today will be a short lesson. It won't be tedious and it won't be long. I do apologize for the absentee of the last 2 weeks, being in the diaspora, being in the land of our forefathers' captivity. We work a lot. All right, so let's get down to the business at hand. So first and foremost, we're going to review what we did last 2 weeks ago at this point. All right, we went over all of the alphabet. Right, all 22 consonants we went over. We also learned all of our modern nakudot, which is the vowel points that have been associated with our language in its current state. These nakudots give, based on how our language has evolved, based on those who are or who have been utilizing our language, gives them a way of pronouncing certain words and making sense of each consonant and how it sounds. We also know that in the modern state of our language, the Sephardic pronunciation is being used. All right, which have a influence of the Spanish captivity that has taken place. All right. What we also know is that, our language is a pure language. We've reviewed that the language is given, it is the tongue of creation based on what the book of Yovelim, Jubilees, chapter 4 tells us. So we speak nothing of our own. We only speak, say, and do what is written in our holy manuscript, which is the heritage of us as a people, the children of Yasharal. So as we get down to the business, all right, we're going to just do a quick review. All right, so first and foremost, we want to review the 22 consonants, but today it's going to be a little different. I, after getting counsel, after being, talking to the authority that I am under, the belief is that once we learn the modern way or the modern script that our language is written in, we can then begin to peel back the layers from whether it's the Assyrian or the Phoenician or the any of the different captivity that our language has gone through, getting it back to the original state. So today we've usually been looking at the modern script, but today we're going to look at each consonant in its pictograph form. All right. So remember, our language is always written in red from right to left. All right. Hopefully you all can see that. All right. So we know that as our language is written in red from right to left, that each consonant has an associated pictograph form with it. All right. So not to be overly redundant, many people who are waking up to the truth of our culture, our identity, our heritage, whether you are a conscious or unconscious Ivrim Yashar Ili, this is your language. And then those companions who are joined, our Gentile, Euro-Gentile, Afro-Asianic Gentile, doesn't matter, our cousins, brothers, and sisters, they need to know our language too, because we were given the oracles of the Most High Yah. So within the words, we get the original meanings. And if we are to be the salt and the light of the earth, then we must understand the right precept to get the right concept so that we can accurately teach and make disciples of nations. All right. Nothing about hate. It's all about love and loving our brother and doing the work we as a nation, a chosen people, was meant to do, to be the example. All right. So the Aleph, as we know, is a pictograph of an ox head. All right. I know this kind of looks like a tongue, but it's the pictograph of an ox head. All right. The associated meanings is ox strength leader. And by the way, all of our 22 consonant Aleph bait characters have an associated number with them. All right. So this would be ahad, 1. So the second one is the bet. It is a floor plan pictograph symbol of like a floor plan representing a house, right? So the bet represented the tent, the house, the body, the household, the family, inside being within. All right. Throughout all of our holy manuscript, there's so many things or references about being inside the tent or the sukkah or the house of Yah. That is where we, have refuge. That is where we have hen, which means grace, being protected by the wall. Hen, the seed is protected by the wall of the house or the houses, making a defense around you who are inside of the house. All right, that's the bet. The gimel, all right, is a pictograph form of like a camel's foot. That's what it represents. It represents a camel. A camel, when it lifts up, it is exalted. Camels travel a path, right? They travel long distances. So a camel, this illustration gave you the concrete understanding of a camel, a journey, something that travels, raising up. Self-will in a negative sense, or pride in a negative sense, right? But on the positive, it meant a journey, a path. All right. Chad, Stein, 2, Shalosh, 3, Arba, 4. The fourth Aleph Beit character, right? The fourth Aleph Beit character is the Dalet, all right, or the Dal or the Da. So this represented a door, all right? And as we learn from scripture, that our Hamashiach, Yahweh's beloved or only begotten Ben Zion, son, our Hamashiach, the King, Yehoshua, Yeshua, Yahweh Shai, he is the door back into the bet, the house. All right. So we know that the Dalet represents the door. It represents a path, meaning in and out. All right. Movement, the concept of movement, the way of life. All right. That's Arba as the number. The fifth Aleph Beit character, right, is the Hey. It is the Hey. It is the pictograph of a man with his arms raised, meaning to behold or to reveal or unveil or to show, to unveil a truth or a path, a direction. So it also had the pictograph representation of to worship or to lift up. All right. So that is the fifth, and the number associated with that is review. Aleph, Beit, Gimel, Dalet, Slika. Achad, Stein, Shalosh, Arba, Chamesh. All right. Chamesh is 5. All right. Everybody tracking? Everybody tracking? I hope, I pray. All right. So the sixth Aleph Beit character is the Wa, or the double V. In many modern Aleph Beit words, they have changed the Wa to a Va. All right. The Va is the sixth Aleph Beit consonant, and it is Shesh. That is the number Shesh. All right. So the Wa, or the Va, was the representation of a nail or a peg, a hook, something that is joining you together to something else. Right. We all partake in the Most High's high holy days, and Chag Sukkot is one. So when you go and you put up your sukkah, you have to stake it in the ground with a tent peg. So it also has the representation of to secure or to fasten, to become bound, right? The seventh Aleph Beit character, 7 in Ivryt, is Sheva, right? Sheva. So the seventh Aleph Beit character here, right? This was the sixth, this was the 10 peg, this was the Wa with a Va. Seventh is the Zion. All right. So sorry, you won't see me because the board is large. I want to make sure you get the pictures. All right. So the Zion as the Sheva consonant, Aleph Beit character, represented a plateau, a matau, or a plowshare. In our culture, we have an agricultural culture. All right. So what that means is this: we plant, we harvest. All of your scriptural references is always dealing with seed time and harvest, planting and growing, reaping and sowing, because our people are agricultural by nature, by culture, by practice, by custom. So the Zion represented a mata plow, something that you would use to harvest crops. It also could have been used as a weapon. All right. So in a sense, it's, the concrete understanding of it is a weapon. It means to cut or to pierce or to harvest, as one would harvest their crops. All right. The eighth Aleph Beit character, right? The eighth Aleph Beit character is the Chet, right? So the Chet was a pictograph of a fence or tent wall. All right. Most of us today would want to see it on a horizontal plane, because when we think of a tent wall or a wall, we think of it more horizontally than vertically. All right. It encompasses. So the number 8 in Ivrit is Shmone. So Shesh Shmone. So as the Chet, right, it was a fence, an inner room, a chamber to separate, meaning to separate, to cut off from, or to protect. All right. So if you let's think about this just logically, right? So I gave you in a Ivrit word for grace, what they call in English. The Greeks interpreted that word as unmerited favor. Well, not really. The word chen was as a chet, right? Noon. It is to separate the seed, right, from that which is outside of the house. So when you understand the concrete thought behind each Ivrit word, then you get an understanding of what it meant in its original perspective. All right. So the het also means to protect or separate. So most of us who've woken up, we experience a separation. We experience being separated from that which we used to do, who we once were. Unfortunately, if our families or friends decide to stay in the ignorance and the slave captivity of the paradigm that we're in as a group thinking society and people nowadays. And I'm talking about Yahudim, Yasharal, Goyim, all the alike. We're all in this group thinking thing, and it's just extremely weird. We stop thinking for ourselves. Anyway, I digress. So, yes, when you look at this word, chet, we know that the wall represented protection, and it also represented separation. All right. So, and that number is 8, which is Shmoneh. The ninth Aleph Beit character, all right, 9 is Tasha, Tashe, is the Tet. All right. So the Tet represented like a basket, right? A surrounding. Baskets surround the contents within it, right? Some has also used it as a concrete thought of like a snake within a basket to surround, to twist, something that's coiling. Um, so that was the representate, concrete thought behind that Aleph Beit character. That number again is Shmoneh. Slika, Tesha. 9 is Tesha in Ivryt. 8 is Shmoneh. All right, 10, Yod or Yad or Yud, some people say. So 10 is the pictograph of a arm, right? A hand with a arm with a man's hand. It represented the concrete thought of to work, to do, or to make a deed, something that is finished. All right. Those were some of the concrete thoughts behind the Yod or the Yad. The number 10 in Ivryt, which is this 10th Aleph Beit consonant, is Eser. Eser is 10. Okay? Hopefully this is hopefully the review is not too redundant. All right. So the 11th Aleph Beit character, because we have 22 consonants, so we're halfway. All right. This one is the Kaf. The Kaf. Now, once you get past 10 in the Aleph Beit consonants, the numbers jump from 10 and it goes 20, right? 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, then 200, then 300, and Tav would be 400. All right. So the Kaf represents 20, and that is Esrim. Esrim is the number. All right. That's how you say 20 in Ivryt. So this illustration is the palm of a hand with a man's hand open, the palm of a hand. Right. So the palm of a hand meant to allow or to give or to receive, to cover, to open the hand, to the power to suppress or the power to lift up. So those are some of the concrete thoughts that you would think of when it came to the kaf or the hand. The 12th Aleph Beit consonant is the lamed, and the number for that is 30, like we already stated, and that is shloshim. Shloshim. The lamed represented a shepherd's staff. Agricultural people, we had cattle, we had livestock, we had shepherds, we have the definite article, ha, we have the shepherd, the great shepherd, right? Our king. So the lamed or the shepherd's staff represented a staff, represented a rod or goad or cattle to control the urge to go forward, the directing, moving toward or forward, to teach, to learn. Those are some of the things represented with the shepherd's staff. Also authority as well. All right. The 13th Aleph Beit character is the mem. That consonant number is arba'im. Arba'im, right? 40. So the mem represented the pictograph of water. All right. These lines represented water, dealing with motion. Right. Water also is one of the keys to life. Right. Our seeds, our crops need water to grow. Our bodies need water to continue to thrive. We're made up of about 70% water based on some scientific evidence. All right. So when it comes to that, we know that also that the mem also has a concept of blood as well. All right. So to us as a people, at times the water was something of an unknown. The deeper you went, the more chaotic the water got. it could represent chaos, right? So not only does it represent motion, not only does it represent water, maybe even blood, but it represented might. It represented at times chaos. It represented something of the deep, a stream. Everything that deals with water and motion and life is what the mem has a concrete pictograph understanding of. Right? So the 14th Aleph Beit character after the mem is the noon. The noon represented the seed. All right. Agriculturally, we need seeds that will sprout to produce life and to produce crops. All right. So Arba'im was mem, which is 40. So that means 50 would be Hameshim. Hameshim. All right. That's 50. So now the noon represents a fish. It also represents seed, to sprout, to spread, offspring, descendant, action. All right. So those were those concepts in an agricultural sense. Seed also, when you think of what is the name for sun in Ivryt, it is ben or ben, which has the noon, right? And you have the bet, which is the seed of the house, right? The sun is the seed of the house, the heir of the house, all right? So from a reproductive perspective, you would see the seed also representing a, an offspring in that sense, all right? The 15th Aleph Beit character is Samech, Samech, all right? And is 60, which is Sheshim, Sheshim, Samech, Sheshim, all right? So this was the illustration of like a thorn, all right? Something to prop, to support, to aid, or to assist, to slow in twisting or turning aside. Also it could have the representation of protection because culturally we would have flocks, and at times we would build a thorny, in fencing around the flocks to warn off predators or what have you. All right. So the after the samech, you have the ayin. The ayin, which number is 70, which in Ivrit would be Shevim, 70, all right, is the eye. So the ayin is the pictograph of an eye, obviously, and it had the understanding of knowledge, experience, to see, right, to perceive, or to be seen. We know that the eye is the gateway to the soul, right? What you visually see all the time leads to your deep-seated live, which is translated as heart, which is your mind, which is your subconscious, your seat of reasoning. What you see leads down to there, which affects who you are as a person. So after that, we get the pei. All right, ayin pei. Pei is the pictograph form of a mouth. All right, its numerical value is 80, which is I'm trying to remember how to correctly pronounce it. Shmonim. Shmonim is 80. Shmonim. So the mouth is, out of the mouth flows the issues of life, or out of the mouth the heart speaks, the mind speaks. So the pei represented the pictograph of a mouth, meaning opening or entrance. We consume, what comes out of the mouth defiles a man, as scripture tells us. It also means to speak, or the beginning, or or present. So these are some of the concrete thoughts behind the pei. The next Aleph Beit character is the Sadi, right? So the Sadi was the Sadi is a man like a man laying on his side, Sadi, representing desire, or on the flip side, someone who is laying a trap, all right, to pull towards something, to become an inescapable desire, trouble, to harvest, righteous, or to hunt, right? As if someone lays on their side waiting to ambush. So it has a positive and negative connotation to it, depending on obviously what side of the fence you're on. So that is the Zari, which has the numerical value of 90, which is Tish'im. Tish'im, 90. All right. Next we have the Kuf. The Kuf, which is the back, which is the twilights meeting at the horizon, the light meeting at the horizon. Kuf. Right? The light meeting at the horizon, meaning between, as in between two lights. Condense. It also meant like, some say it can mean like the back of the head, what is behind. Final, the least. But when you see it, it's like when you see the light come into the horizon, and when Erev and Boker are meeting and we get the light at the horizon, it's condensing, and one is pushing out the other, or the beginning of the day or the beginning of the night. So that the Kuf is numerical value is 100. All right, which is Me'an. Me'an. All right. So let me speed this up really quickly so we can get to the lesson. This is just a review. All right. This is the foundation of your language, Zion. This is the foundation of understanding the thought of our people, the Ivryt or Ivrim people that the Most High used, our forefathers and our ancestors, right? That he used and he spoke through, who through the Ruach HaKodesh inspired our holy manuscript. This gives us the foundation to understand the concrete thought, because we're concrete thinking people. We don't think abstract, we think concrete. We don't think appearance-based, we think functionally. Everything is about function, everything is concrete. So we as a people know that this is the foundation to understanding what the Most High truly wanted us to know, so that we may edify not just the nation of Yasharah, as our nation is waking up, as the nation of a people that has been conspired against, as of Tehillim 83 tells us, to be cut off as a nation. As the nation of Yah's people is waking up, we need to understand the language. We need to understand the culture, because it's what Yah gave us. It is what he wants for his people, his chosen, his elect, his remnant, as well as his grafted in companions of Yefeth and Ham. Because we know when they all came off the boat, Yah blessed Shem, Ham, and Yefeth. So it is our duty, Yasharah, to wake up not only Yaakov, who is asleep, but also to be a light to the rest of the nations, right? So we need to understand, and we go to the foundation. We build a house at the foundation. This is it in terms of the language. All right. So now we're going to Resh. Resh numerical value is 200. All right. It is the pictograph form of a man's head. This means head, a person. What is the highest? Most important, first, right? So these are some of the concrete thoughts behind the Resh. All right. Nice and easy. You know, it's not overly complicated. It's just we have to do our due diligence and study not only the scriptures to show ourselves approved, but to get an understanding of the language and the concrete thoughts of each Aleph Beit character. Right? So that's the Resh. Next is the Shin. All right. If there's a Nukud at the right, it's Shin. If it's a Nukud at the left, it is Sin, pronunciation-wise. So shin is the pictograph of two front teeth. This numerical value is 300. All right. So the pictograph of two front teeth gives us the understanding concretely of two teeth, to press, because when you chew, you're pressing on something, or to devour, or sharp. So that is some of the concrete understandings behind the shin. Last but not least, we have the ta, or the tav. This numerical value is 400. Coincidentally, as we come closer and closer to a new, true, natural new year, a scriptural new year, in the way Yah designed a new year, based on when Abib comes and the earth produces life again, we will be going into the 400th year of the captivity of us as a people being scattered to the four corners of the earth, the great diaspora here in the Americas, the Caribbeans, etc. So, incidentally, the Ta or Tav has a numerical value of 400. It means a mark, a sign, or a cross, ownership, to seal. It also means a covenant, together, or the joining, or the last. All right. So that is your Aleph Beit characters in its pictograph form this week. Previous lessons we went over in its modern Ivryt script, right, which is the block script that was adopted from the Babylonian captivity, and just evolved from there to what we have today. All right. So that is that. Hopefully that wasn't too redundant. Hopefully it was edifying to see the images, to see the concrete thoughts behind it, and as we progress. So now let's get into the lesson. As Zakane Rosh Prince Yasharal would say, y'all all right? Y'all all right? Hopefully everybody tracking and y'all still here with me. All right? So now I'm gonna go over lesson 4. You know what? Let's review the Nakud, the vowel points, because one, we know that our language has a consonant vowel, consonant vowel, consonant vowel pattern. So that means we need to understand when we pick up a true manuscript, right, which will be written in Ivryt, Hebrew. It will be written in its modern form, which will have the Nakudos, all right, which is the vowel points that have been prescribed to it. So let's review those quickly as we go through this lesson, and then we will get to the meat and potatoes, as Nefkar Rosh Mori Benai would say. So written from right to left, I'm going to use the Aleph. You know what? We're just going to do one. You know. So this is the Aleph in its modern script. All right. So the first Nakudo we're going to go over. So this is the Aleph in its modern script. All right. Hopefully that's not too light. All right. So the first vowel point we're going to go over is the one of the vowel points, which is the kamat. All right. It looks like a little T under it. Hopefully you all can see that. All right. So this is the kamat. This vowel point would give this consonant the sound. All right. Kamats is spelled Qamats, for anybody who just wants to know. All right. The kamats gives this vowel point the sound. That's one. The next consonant that we get that gives us the sound is the pata. Pata. Now, when you learn the names of it, the name of it gives you the Sephardic pronunciation. All right. So when I say Sephardic, that is the Spanish pronunciation that has been prescribed with our language. The other one, based on the Jewish, the suffix ish means to be like unto. So they're not the real thing. So the Sephardic pronunciation, or the Yiddish, which is the German tongue, we don't use that. And in the state of Israel, which is a portion of the Promised Land, which is from the great rivers Euphrates to the great rivers of Egypt, right? So in the state of Israel, they use the Sephardic tongue. Most people will use the Sephardic tongue. So when you go on your sacred visitations, you can understand the pronunciations. So this is the patah, has the ah sound as well. Next is the segol, segol. All right. So the segol gives you the E sound. The segol, segol gives you the E sound. It looks like 3 bowling balls. Pop, pop, pop. All right. Anybody go bowling? Just knock them down. Segol. All right. After the segol, if I remove the dot at the bottom, right, then the nakud, slaka, for all those grammatical professionals. And disclaimer, I am not I say it every week, but I will continue to say it. I am not a Ivryt scholar yet. I am a brother and co-laborer of the faith, looking to do the work the Most High has called us to do. And that is, and part of that, part of being woke and conscious to who you are is to understand your language. So I'm just one of many who is doing the work to help re-educate us on our original tongue, because it's part of who we are. Right? It is a pure language. So the next one is the sari, or sare, A as in gray, E. It's the E pronunciation. Sari, E as in gray. So the sare is how I pronounce it. The sare, like gray, gives you the E, is like a E vowel sound, E vowel point. All right. Next, so next is the sheva, right? It is 2 horizontal nakudotes. If it's in the middle, it's called a dagesh. So it is 2 horizontal nakudotes, right? And it's actually silent, all right? So this is, I don't know why it's in there, but okay, this is why it's in there, right? If you see this with the sheva in the middle of a aleph bait, or in the middle of a word, dabar, then what that gives you is a break, a syllable break. So that means I would say the word up into this break and then restate the next portion of the word, whether it's the suffix part or what have you. So this acts as a syllable break. If you see the sheva in the beginning of as a prefix in the beginning of a word, it gives you the understanding. The pronunciation is E, or A as well. All right. So the next vowel point is the harik. 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 All right. So the harik is E, 1 nakud at the bottom of a consonant. The harik is E as in B. All right. So when you see that, you know how to pronounce the remaining of the bar word. Right. So hopefully y'all all enjoying your Shabbat. Starting your Shabbat, learning a little bit of something, going through a review. All right. So the next consonant, or the next vowel point, is what we call the holam. This nakud is going to be at the top and slightly in front of the aleph bait consonant. The holam gives you the sound of O. All right. It's a O vowel sound. Holam. So now if we take this holam, or this nakud, and we place it directly above the consonant like this, right? It gives us what we call in the grammatical world the Holam Malif, still a O sound, right? Holam Malif. Okay. Next we have the kubuts. Trying to be ambidextrous here and write, with my left hand. I think I did pretty well. All right, so the kubuts gives us the U sound. Kubuts. Kubuts. All right, gives us the U sound. So when you see this under a aleph bet consonant, you know you're going to pronounce the letter with the U sound. Next, we have the first nakud that is adjacent or directly in front of the aleph bet consonant. This is called the sharuk. Sharuk gives you the U sound as the name illustrates. The sharuk. All right. So now, last three. So stay with me here, because listen, the goal is this. When you know what to look for and how to pronounce it, then as you begin to, you, me, I, as we begin to learn how to pronounce it, how to identify the pictograph form for concrete thought, how to identify the modern script, then we can begin to build the vocabulary and understand the vocabulary. So once we pick up the all Ivryt manuscript, our manuscript, we can read it, understand it, and truly apply it from the original thought without any transliterations or translations, which always has the translators superimposed ideologies, methodologies, philosophies, or what have you. So now we can say, no, we're not going to read it from the NIV or the King James and whatever. Let's read it from the script or the language it was written in, and understand our culture, understand the concrete thought of each consonant. And then from there, we know, especially as Yah is pouring out his Ruach HaKodesh among his remnant and his people, then we can know the true oracles of the Most High without any superimposed ideologies or anything on it. All right. So next is what we call the kamats, the hataf kamats, which is going to be the kamats, which was like the little T, with the sheva. So when you see this T with the sheva, right, it's called the hataf kamats, giving you, man, that looks sloppy. So I want to make sure everything is done decently in order and pleasing to the Most High. All right. So the Chataf Kamatz gives you the A or the rarely used O sound when you see it this way. All right. The A sound or the rarely used O sound. Next, you would have the Hataf Patah. Is just the Patah and the Shevat put together, giving you the Hataf Patah, another A sounding vowel point. Now, in other resources that I use outside of Jeff Benner, outside of Rosetta Stone, outside of Biblical Hebrew, they use the different sounds and vowel points, nakudotes, to make it either a long sounding a short sound, or an abrupt sound. So depending on which one you see, would tell you, okay, this is an abrupt sounding A, or a long sounding A, or a short sound. All right. So we're not going to dive into that right now because we really got to build on the foundation and the fundamentals. All right. Then the last one is going to be your hataf segol. So the segol gave us the E sound, right? The segol gave us the E sound, so now you get a E sound. This would be probably, I think, the abrupt E sound. 2 horizontal would be the long E sound. 3 would give you the short E sound. Goodness gracious. And then this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5 would give you the abrupt E sound. So just some food for thought. Not really the main focal point of the lesson tonight. All right. So is everybody good? I hope all y'all are tracking. Hope you all, a team, are doing well and learning something. So here we go. Let's get down to the business. Like I said, this is going to be a short lesson. We're going to do 2 lessons. All right. Then we will talk about Tefilot le Yahweh, or Adon Palal, Yahweh's prayer, which our king and master gave us to teach us how to pray the proper way, how to petition the Most High. And it's always about his will. So we need to learn that prayer. And we will do that in the Paleo Ivryt. So here we go. So now that we know all of our consonants and we know all of the nakudotes, the vowel points associated with that in its modern form, we will go over the lamed, right? The 2 consonants that we'll do now is the lamed, all right? So in the modern script, it will look like this. All right, modern script will look like that. That's how I do my lamed. Pictograph. All right. All right. Lamed, modern script, lamed, pictograph form. All right. Shepherd staff. We already went over that, so let's not be overly redundant. All right. So we know what it means. This is how you see it in the modern form. This is how you see it in the ancient pictograph script. Next, we're going to add the va or the wa. All right. So the va is that, or the wa. Modern script, all right, line pretty much straight down. Pictograph form looks like a steak or tempeh. All right. The 2 vowel points that we will rediscuss is the sheva, 2 horizontal dots under it, as well as the sagol. All right, let's do it under this script. In the sagol. All right, you see the nakuds, sagol, the 3 bowling ball looking ones, sheva, 2 vertical dagesh or nakuds. All right, so what we want to know is this. Let's go over our vocabulary, and then we'll do sentence structure. All right. So vocabulary. You know what? I wish I had the interactive feedback today. If anyone's typing in the chat, I do apologize because I cannot see it. I'm not looking to be a YouTube celebrity or star, so I don't really know how to work it like that. All right. So real quick, the vocabulary that we learned in the previous lessons was 1, we learned the word where, which was aleph, sare, yod, which is meaning where. We also learned ani, which means I or I am. Aleph, kamatz, vowel point, right? Aleph, kamatz, vowel point, noon, harik, and yod. I should probably write this for you. For everyone in TV land. and eh. All right. Then we had the ani, aleph, kamat, noon, ri, yod. All right. Where, ich, I, or I am, ani. The am is really inserted. Is really I, but you can say I am and it's inserted. All right. The third one that we learned last week was Bane. All right. Bet, Sere, Noon, Sofit, which means final letter, final noon, Noon, Sofit. All right. And then we learned she. She is weird because she is he in Ivryt. So you shouldn't forget that one. That is the easy one. All right. Yeah. Okay. All right. So the next two was Sun, Bane, Bet, Sari, Nun Sofit, She, which is he, how you pronounce it. Hey, Sarik, Yod, Aleph. All right. So those are a few. We also learned prophet last week. All right. Prophet and then what, which is ma. So prophet, which is Nashim or Navi, Noon, Kamat, Bet or Vet, with the Tariq, Yod, Aleph. All right, which gives us Navi. And that means prophet. And then the last one we learned last week was what, which is Ma. All right, and that is, there's two ways there it's been written. So Mem with the Patah vowel point and then Hey, or Mem with the Kamat vowel point and then Hey. So really quick, all right. So vowel points, all right. So prophet is Navi, Noon, Kamat, Vet, Hari, Yod, Aleph. All right. What is Ma? Mem, Patah, Hey. All right. All right. So today, the vocabulary that we will learn. Today's vocabulary that we will learn is what has been translated as God in today's culture or today's world. Aleph, right? Sari, and a Lamed, which gives us El. In its Phoenician way, it would be Al, which many have translated as God. This really means power. All right. There's one. Aleph Lamed. This is bad, Lamed. I got to do more script writing for Lamed, block the letters for Lamed. But Aleph Lamed with the Sari, Sere, like gray. Nakud gives us el. All right. Next one we will do is next one we'll do night because it is, where at least where I'm at on the eastern shores of the United of States. Um Night is Lila. Lila. All right. So Lamed. All right. Lamed Yod Sheva. Well, Lamed Patah Yod Sheva. Lamed Kmat. Hey. So now here we go. We're about to learn something new. You ready? Check this out. This is cool. You see the Lamed, right? And then you see the Patah. Anytime you have a Patah and following the Patah or a Kamatz, which is the T looking Nakud. If you have a Yod following that, you get the pronunciation of I-E. All right? Because if I didn't get that pronunciation as I-E, I would read it as La or Lai, La. Well, look, I'm saying it the way it's supposed to be said. Layla. But when I get the Patah or the Kamatz and the Yod precedes that, you pronounce it with an I-E pronunciation. That's why we say Lai. And then you see the Sheva, which is in the middle of the word, gives us a syllable break. So if you were like to phonetically write that out, you would probably write it. You would write it like this: line break la. Most people, or some people, I'm not going to group everyone. I would write it like this: lie break, because the Sheva gives us a syllable pause, and then you go to the next portion of the word la. Lie la. It gives you night. All right. The next one we will do is believe. Right? So believe is Aleph, Kamatz, Mem, Sareh as the vowel point, Nun Sofit, which gives us the Amin. Amin. Sounds so familiar, I hope. So, believe, Aleph, Kamatz, Mem, Sareh, Nun Sofit is Amin. Amin. Also, believe, or this is to mean, so be it. So when you say Amen or Amin, you are saying believe or so be it. So at the end of Yahweh's Tefillot Palal, we say Amen, meaning so be it. Everything you said, let it be. I believe. Everything you said, let it be. So everybody knows Ivryt because everybody in the world says Amen to something. Amen, Amen. So Amin is so be it or believe. Hallelujah. All right, the next one is let's do water. Let's get that going because everybody knows this one. So we're not going to be too redundant. So Mayim, Mem, Pata, Yod, Harik, and then Mem Sufit. So remember, the Sofit means final letter. All right. So Mayim means water. All right. Once again, you have the Pata vowel point preceding the Yod consonant, making the pronunciation as of a I-E, meaning, so now I know I would say that as my, and then you have the Harik, which is the E like B, Yim, my Yim, my Yim. All right. So since we're on the liquid words, let's deal with C, not SEE like visual C or iron, but C as in what the Most High created. C. All right, this one is a yam. Pronounce it yam. So it is a yod, a kamatz vowel point, then it is a mem, mem sofit. So you have a two-letter parent root. All right. So as we learn about roots, right, real quick, just let me digress. So our language is a action-based language, right? Every root, you either have a two-parent root or a three-parent root, most of the time three-parent root, which is three consonants. That root, right, is an always action-based. So it's a verb. So all our three-letter roots are verbs. And even if it's a noun, it's still action-based behind it. So our Aleph date or our language, you can, if you know the root word, the three-letter consonant, if you know the meaning of the root word, then you can understand what the meaning of if the word has taken on more Alephic characters, becoming what we call a child root or an adopted root, then you can still understand what that word is. It just takes on much more specificity with more consonants. So remember, quickly, let's look at let's just look at Lila, right? If these are consonants, all right, Lamed Yod, Lamed Hey, all right. So there is a three-letter root in that. If I add another consonant before the Lamed, and then suffix a consonant as a suffix behind the hey, I just added on to the word. But I can get to the root of this word to get its original meaning at the foundational level. From there, this is how we'll always begin to understand the concept of the word. The more consonants you have, right, the more specificity it takes on for the context of the sentence. We know that. But now, if I remove some of the prefixes and remove some of the suffixes of the word, then I can minimize or make the word macro, go from macro to micro, and get the three-letter verbal root of the word, which is always action-based. From there, I know what it means. Then I can apply that to the rest of the context in its proper sense. All right. So the infix or the three-letter consonant, which is three Arabic characters as a parent root, sometimes even two, as you see in Yam, which is C, you can get the concrete thought behind it in its action-based understanding. Okay, tracking. Hopefully everybody tracking. It's been a very great week. It's been a trying week, but hey, we all made it to the Shabbat. Praises to the Most High Yah. So we're almost done. All right, because I don't want to take up your evening. It's been a long day for everyone, but I want to hopefully edify you with some Ivryt as we continue to dive into our language and build from the foundation up. All right. So the next word we will review today is here. And I think, you know what, Zakim Prince in our Hamashi lesson uh, yesterday, I think he said it too. So here is he ne. So hine is a hey, here, to behold, with the sarik nakud. Then you have, let me make sure this is right, the noon. We're running out of space down here. I might have to get a bigger board. And then we have the noon, all right, with the saray nakud. Now this has a sh in the middle. Now we're about to learn something new. All right. So stay with me. And then you have another hey. So if you see a dagesh in the middle, it is telling us that when you see the dagesh, which is a dot in the middle of the letter, which is placed within some letters, such as the noon in this word, it doubles the letter. It doubles the letter. So therefore the word is pronounced he, ne, ne, instead of he, ne. Ne. All right. So I actually phonetically spelled that incorrect. Slakia, slicker. So I would spell it H, like H-E-E-N break N-A-Y, something like that. Basically, just make sure you have two N's in there to know that you're going to, with the dagesh in the middle of the noon, you're doubling that letter in its pronunciation. Hin ne. All right. So that is your vocabulary lesson this week. All right. Let's do like 2 or 3 sentences just to have fun. We'll go over prayer. And then from there, we will call it a night. All right. So, we'll do a little complex sentence. We'll talk through the easy sentence first. So, if I wanted to say night came, how would you say it? So you would have to go back to one of the first lessons we did where we learned with the word came, how to say the word came or come in the masculine form. So I'll give you 30 seconds just to think. Go into those mental faculties of yours as human and use the power of your brain. And how would you say it? Hold on, say it again. Came. So now you just gotta say night. How you say night? All right, I heard it. Ba Lila or Lila Ba. Lila Ba. All right. So that's good. That's good. I don't know who that was. My phone is janky, so it sounded low. But hey, that was good. All right. How would you say water is in the sea? Now the word is going to be an insert, so don't worry about how to say is. Just think about how would you say water, and then in, which is a consonant. Right, I'm giving you a clue. In is a consonant attached to a word as a prefix. It can also be a standalone, but it's going to be attached to the word as a prefix. So if I say water in the, which we learned when we went over one of the consonants, hint, hint, arm with his man with his arms raised, that as a prefix is what we call a definite article, the hey, which means the. So I just gave you part of it. So anybody want to give it a shot? Water in the sea. Who got it? Don't be shy. Kane. Kane, I can hear you. C. My Isha said it, so I'm gonna give you credit because I heard you. Go ahead. What'd you say? Say that one more time. All right. So bara mimyan. So you would say it. You almost there. You almost there. So I would say water first. Mayim, water. Ba yam. Now that's how you would say it, and pretty much you're inserting the is and the in that way. Or I sometimes say it mayim bahaya because I'm just saying in the and then yam is water. Mayim bahayam. So um our study guide right now is has it as mayim ba yam. So we'll go with that, but I don't think it would be wrong if you said mayim bahayam because you just added two prefixes to the word yam to give it added emphasis. Tracking. And like I said, anybody else out there who is studying the language diligently and has something different that is going to be edifying that will help us all continue to grow in our language, please feel to chat it, write it, speak it. Um, we all in this together to learn and build the foundation that was lost from us being our language. All right. So here we go. You know, I'm glad I'm not writing it down because I want y'all to try to really just think about the words and just, whether it's a prefix, suffix, or a consonant, parent root verb or noun, and really just start putting these things together. So, like, to be honest with you, what I do at times, I'll be reading the scriptures and I'll see words and then I'll just say the English. I'll say the Ivryt words that's written in my English Bible, and I'll just start substituting in that way. So then I'm start. It's just a good way to practice. Not the only way. It's just a way that is working for me at this moment. All right. So next sentence. Here we go. You ready? Can somebody say, my son came to me? My son came to me. Take your time. Think about it. Think about it. Say that again. Okay. So we got a Beni Ba. Correct. Beni. So remember, when you have the yod as a suffix attached to a prime root, parent root, two-letter root, three-letter root word, it takes on the possessive pronoun meaning of my. So if I say like Avi is my father, so Beni, my son, Ba came. Now you got to learn how to say to me. How do you say to me? It's all right, Aki. So to say to me, it's a lamed with the harik vowel point, which is, remember, that's one nakud, one dot under the consonant, and then the yod. So it's pronounced. So look at that. That's the harik vowel point. So it's pronounced li to me. So if I wanted to say to us, I would say la nu, la nu to us. To me is li. So when I look at it, when we want to say my son came to me, it's Beni Bali. Beni Bali. Beni Bali. Or, Beni Beni Ba. No, Slika. Uh let's say, how would you say my daughter came to me? Let's mix it up. Who got it? Or my daughters. Make it plural. So it would be banot, ba'a, because that's the feminine form of came, and then you would still say li to me. Banot ba'ali. Banot ba'ali. All right. You know what? I'm proud. First and foremost, I'm proud that we getting some participation and that you all are actually really just thinking. Like that's my biggest challenge with anybody that I deal with or work with, including myself. Um, Especially as a holistic healthcare practitioner in the uh, massage and training world. I just tell people you got to think. We got to think. So don't be afraid just to take your time and think about these things so that you can really get an understanding of what you're trying to say and then search the mental faculties of your mind and just remember the words that you've learned and then how we learn to pronounce it so that now we can start dialoguing back in our language. I mean, it's amazing when you actually learn like a phrase or a word or a sentence. So like my word this week was I am going, or the other day was I will help. I am going to help, pretty much. I will help. I'm going to help. So when I was learning, it was like ani leche ani chole la azor. So now I can add that to my repertoire. So I'm going to help. Ani chole la azor. Um, it's just different things you can do. Just do a phrase a day, a word a day, and then a phrase a week, and then you'll just start building the vocabulary. All right. So let's do two more and then we will wrap it up. All right. So mother came in the night. Here we go. Who has it? Mother came in the night. Or mother came in night. Here we go. Who has it? Gang. All right. You right there. See, so if as long as I heard you correctly, I think you only missed one prefix on the word Lila. Go ahead, Aki. Kane. So M or Emma, Ba'a, Ba Laila. Emma Ba'a Ba Laila. Emma or M, Ba'a, Kane, mother, Kane, Ba in Laila, night. And then if you wanted to add a double prefix to Lila to make it in the rather than in night, you could just say Baha Laila. So M Ba'a Baha Laila. So remember, when you putting these words together, like based on what I'm studying and learning so far, is like within the infix, which is the parent root or the root word, you could just keep adding. You can have multiple. Let me restate that. You can have multiple prefixes and multiple suffixes to give the root word much more specificity to the context of the sentence. So that was good, Aki. That was real good. All right. Last one. My father and my mother here. So you would so that's how you would say it. So then we would insert the word are to make it complete for grammatical understanding or when you write it down as a sentence. So can somebody tell me how to say my father and my mother are here? Who has it? All right, I'm gonna give it to you. But keep thinking before I do it. Keep thinking, keep thinking. Just my father. We know that if we add the yod as a suffix to the parent root word, it makes it possessive. Say it again. Okay. Now you got to say and my mother. So now go back to remember the which consonant which consonant as a prefix is a conjunction meaning and. So which aleph bait character, if you see it in the beginning of a word, has the meaning based on the letter to represent and. Hint, hint. Cain. Hallelujah. There you go. So now, Aki Emmanuel said, Avi for my father. Oh, Nevkar Rosh more than I. So how do you say and my mother? Come on, you got it. You got it. Cain. So Avi ve emi or Avi va ami or ama ami. So that is my father and ve is and a or emi mother and my mother. How do you say here? Somebody give me here. Somebody give me here so I can blow the shofar. I better get it right because this is on TV. Come on, who got it? Who got it? Kane Isha Shelly. I hear you. Who got it? Come on. All right, we got it. He ne. He slicker. So remember, this one had the dagesh inside of the noon, so now that made it a double letter pronunciation. So heen ne. So that whole sentence together would read Avi ve emi heen ne. Avi ve emi heen ne. My father and my mother are here. All right. So great work. Great work. That was excellent tonight. I don't want to hold you all. I will read and then we will send we're going to send out which we already did the first lesson, but we're going to resend it with the actual consonants. Yahweh's Palau, Tefilot, Le Yahuwah. We're going to send it out so all those who are fellowshipping with us or who would like to fellowship and get this information, feel free to email me at, give me one second. Yeah, feel free to email me at Moreh, Moreh, Yazi, Yahzi, Khayal, Chaayal, Gabar, Gabar, at yahoo.com. All right. That's Moreh Yazi Khayal Gabar at yahoo.com. And we'll get the printed version out to you. This way you can actually just look at it, review it, study it, begin to learn it. You know, like the leadership and the authority that I am under in our earthly ministry outside of the Most High Yah, Bahashim Yahweh Shai. You know, if we all pray in that ancient tongue of creation unto the Most High Yah on one accord, not for evil but for good, to do His will and not our own, and call on His name in the language of creation, His language. I mean, we will invoke the power of our mighty one, the Holy One of Israel, Ha Kodesh Achad Yasharala, in our struggle, in our fight, in our ministries, in our doing His work, and that's what it's all about. It's not about me. It's not about any of the Zakanim, Morim, any of us. It's Akotis. It's about us doing His will and His work. Nothing more, nothing less. So line 2 of Yahuwah's Palau in the Paleo. So we went over line 1, which is Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodesh Chaya Shamka. Boom. Our Father, which is in heaven, set apart is your name. Line 2. Yahuwah Malakwath Thaba'a Ratazawanka. Chaya Isha Ba'arataza Kawa Chaya Bashemayim. Right? Yahweh, your kingdom come and your will be done in Ba'aretz, earth, Kawa, as it, Chaya, be Ba, in Shemayim, in heaven. Those are, in fact, I gave you 3 lines. We already did the 1, and I gave you 2 and 3. Like I said, we will send it out if you respectfully request it. Please just review the whole thing. It will be a great way for you to actually begin to get a comprehensive grasp on the language if you learn some of the favorite prayers that you like. There's plenty of people out there that do that teach the prayers in modern or ancient on YouTube or other sources. I would, respectfully tell you, look into them as well. It will aid you in your growth of the language that the Most High has given us, which is His language, the language of creation, based on Yovelim 4, Jubilees chapter 4. Right? So I pray that the Most High keep you, bless you. May His face shine upon you, Yasharal. May He lift up His countenance upon you. All right? Remember, continue to study. As we all pick up this shovel together and dig, we will uncover so many truths about the foundation of our language. But we know in this current situation, we have to peel back the layers. Peel back the layers to get to the root. All right? So it's a work. It's not insurmountable. It's not impossible. It's just a work. And we are to do the work that was predestined for us to do. So, with that being said, Lalato Mishpaka, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Have a great Yom Nifla, Yom Laila. Hallelujah.